Hey guys, take a minute with a video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing iOS 16 on the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X. In this video, we're going to talk about the download itself, the features that you will be able to get if you're upgrading to iOS 16, the performance, the battery life, if we experience any bugs or issue, and finally answer the question if iOS 16 is really worth for you to upgrade on your iPhone 10. So let's get started. Before we talk about iOS 16, a little bit of background on the iPhone 10 here. Now, the iPhone 10 was released back in November 2017. Now, that's almost 5 years of this phone, and that means a lot has changed for the phone and the technologies with it. It's really surprising that iPhone usually get up to 5 years of major update, but the iPhone 10 does here get it. If you go into settings here and looking to update it, you can simply go into general and the software update, and you can see here iOS 16 is available. As the time of recording, there's iOS 16.3.1 out, but you can also stay on iOS 15 if you choose to, so it's all up to you here. So we decided to upgrade to, as you can see here, iOS 16.0, and we're going to be looking to use iOS 16 just to talk about it a little bit. And with this phone here now, it has a beautiful screen. The iPhone 10 brought in a lot of changes, becoming the very first phone with all screen display, that OLED display. Also the price point starting at almost $1,000, although you can get it now almost around $200, almost 1/5 the price of it here. The other thing about the iPhone 10 here is a unique body design, 212 megapixel camera. See the slick body design, small compact phone. It's surprising a lot of people still use the iPhone 10 here. You'll be surprised, and that's why we're reviewing iOS 16 on the iPhone 10 if you're considering upgrading to this device. So one thing about the hardware of the iPhone 10 that you must discuss is on A11 Bionic chip, which is important because some of the iOS 16 feature we'll talk about later in the video that aren't available because it is an older chip on it, although it can upgrade to iOS 16. So in terms of our download experience, it took about 45 minutes to download it, and we have a decent Wi-Fi here because it does take about 3 to 4 gigs for a download. So make sure you have the space here on your phone. If you don't, delete some videos, photos, or some apps to clear some space. Once you download and install it, a couple things here you're going to want to kind of take a note of it here is that you get some features around the performance. We noticed that performance, we didn't see really any sort of issues with this. You can see here I have a bunch of apps open here. They're all running perfectly fine. I can go ahead and open up another app. Again, it will take a moment or so just because it's an older phone here, but once I open it up, it will start running just like it should. And all of the major popular apps so far have been working as it should. Sometimes you get these updates for apps that are required just because on these apps that just get updated, you just have to go ahead and update, and the update will happen just like that. But good thing is all the major apps are working. We haven't seen any apps that sort of had any issues iOS 16 because iOS 16 of course was tested on most of the devices so far, which was released with the iPhone 14 lineup here. Now let's talk about the battery here. The battery performance, we haven't seen any issues with it itself. So when you looked at the battery, now there's a new feature where you can turn on battery percentage here, and the battery percentage now, as you can see here, shows right there. So that is something of notice that you'll probably see. If you like that feature, it's available for you. Now the other thing to mention is in terms of the battery here, because it is a 5-year-old phone, as you can see, the maximum battery went down to 81%, and generally Apple recommends replacing the battery if it goes below 80%. But for our purposes, the battery held up pretty well on iOS 16. I think we might have lost maybe a little bit, but we haven't seen significant difference to say that, hey, this is causing an issue in terms of the battery. And now the other thing we do want to talk about here is some of the features that we get on iOS 16 here. First feature comes up is the lock screen. Now if you hold here, press it down, you'll see here now you have the ability to add custom lock screen just like we do here. You can just add any one, and then you also have these widgets that you can add up top here to really customize it. You can customize the fonts here, all of these features that come with it. You can change up these things just like that and hit that add option here just like that, and you can set as a wallpaper. Pretty cool if you really like to change up your wallpaper a lot. That's one thing. Other feature you'll probably notice is in the messages here. Now if you type up a message here, let's say you want to message someone just like that on iMessage, say hey, we have the ability to send this message, but also along with that is we have the ability to now press and hold undo or unsend if we don't want to. We can also edit it, which is pretty cool as well. So you can go ahead and, as you can see here, we can edit a text that we just sent. We can just do that, or if we don't want to, we can just unsend it just like that. As you can see, some pretty cool features, again, that might be worth if you're thinking about upgrading to it. Other feature upgrades are around the focus mode. If you pull on the tab here, you'll notice here there's been updates to the focus mode, which was previous updated on iOS 15, but Apple did enhance those. There's also enhancement to privacy as well. Like with anything, you'll see here the privacy option. Now it's privacy and security, which security is taken a little bit further. In the past here, you see like safety check as well coming along on your phone. Of course, other things like upgrades to the passkey as well, and then the notification as well. You'll notice here now we have the notification bar. You can have it this way, you could have it up top, but those are little upgrades as well here. Now there are other features that iOS 16 does bring in, but unfortunately those are not available, and those include some of the ones that we want to quickly list out for you that are available. Is being able to remove the background of photos. So if I have a photo here, as you can see here, on a phone that does remove a background on iOS 16, if you press and hold, it will isolate it, remove the background, and you have a photo. But fortunately, that's not available, which is disappointing for it. Other update disappointing things that you probably notice here is that if you edit a screen here, let's say we want to edit this, there is no depth mode here, which isn't a big deal, but you might be wondering why that is not available, because it's just not available on the iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 as well, and that's because it is limited to only A12 Bionic chip. That's why we didn't see the background remove image feature as well, because Apple mentioned that it's an iPhone that have A12 Bionic chip or later as well. Also, other things that you might notice on the iPhone 10 that's not available is if you have used FaceTime, it doesn't have ability to do live captions on video calls and audio calls as well. It doesn't have also new and improved dictation that's available. Unfortunately, that's not available. And it doesn't have live text from video as well, which are available on, again, iPhone with the A12 Bionic chip or later. But nonetheless, here, as you can see here, the performance so far by us using all of the app has been decent here. We couldn't say anything about the performance here. Now, some people did mention about issue that they had where the Face ID broke when they did the upgrade. I don't think it's a big common issue here. For example, this phone had its Face ID issue here, but some people didn't have that issue. It's common, but then the new upgrade version that came out fixed it for them. Some people also experienced some sort of battery drain issue, which later on Apple fixed it in their other updates that happen. But it's something to kind of keep in mind if you are going to be thinking about the update, is because it is a 5-year-old phone. Sometimes the update, the 5th-year update, could potentially be even a bad thing for your iPhone. But that again is sort of one of the pretty much a different experience for different people. So our conclusion comes to, should you upgrade to iOS 16 on the iPhone 10 here? And our answer is going to be, really depends. If you really care about all those upgraded features that we mentioned around the wallpaper, the text, being able to do unsend and edit text message just like that, and all those little upgrades to security as well. But because you can stay on iOS 15 if you can, we would recommend stay on iOS 15 as long as you can. And that's because the 5th-year update usually on the iPhone tend to be a little bit on the mixed review of things, and that's kind of what we recommend, that you stay on iOS 15 on the iPhone 10 here. But again, it doesn't hurt if you really want to take the chance and upgrade to iOS 16. If you're having a great experience with iOS 15, you might be having the same great experience on iOS 16. That's why we want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section if you upgraded your iPhone 10 to iOS 16. What has it been like? Have you had any issues, any bugs or glitches happening, or anything happened that iOS 16 might be a good idea or a bad idea? We want to hear from you guys as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you can hit that like and subscribe button, we'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys next time.